So hey Bubble family, so my last video I was pretty angry, and like I say, I apologize if that has upset anybody because I don't normally come on the channel and I'm not normally this angry. So I've had to take a moment, I've calmed myself down, I've had a cup of tea, and I am feeling a little bit more grounded. But in this video, it is to do with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. It is going to be a slightly shorter video because I recognize that not every one of you want to watch my long-winded videos, and I get that. I think she's blown it. I think in these type of trials, defamation trial, I think sometimes it's very difficult to prove. But she got on the stand and in cross-examination, and I'm going to run the clip of video here. She literally states that she wrote the op-ed about Johnny Depp. She actually admits it on the stand. Now, I don't know whether this is the clinching moment, aside from her dramatic, I've never smirked, I've never laughed, when there is so much footage of Amber Heard smirking and rolling her eyes. And she even does it when she's being cross-examined by Camille Vasquez, who I just think is amazing. But this woman literally got up on the stand and she literally admitted she wrote the op-ed. This is why she wrote the op-ed, because Johnny Depp is a very powerful man. The words that she used in the op-ed. So she admits it, even though in the beginning she stated it wasn't about him. Oh, you honestly, there are so many moments when you see the mask slip with this woman, where she's crying, no tears. Her body language is so misaligned with what she's talking about. She is talking about abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence, and yet actually the person, when you see Johnny Depp on the stand, his body language is very kind of self-soothing. He's kind of, his head is down, unless when he's answering a question, and then he kind of looks down. He's doing that a lot. He does go to the jury sometimes. But with Amber, she's constantly looking towards the jury, constantly searching for validation. This is what she's consistently doing. She will pretend to cry. She is crying from the bottom. She's not crying from here. She sneers. Her whole body language is misaligned with the stories that she's telling. And then she slips, because when you can see she gets irritated with Camille, she'll go from kind of being upset, and then she'll be like, sorry, what? If you're crying and somebody, and even if you're correcting, you're still in that mode. You're still in that, you're upset. So you kind of want to compose yourself, so you kind of want to bring yourself back down again. But she does it very quickly. She'll go from screwing her face up crying to, sorry, what? She'll look to the judge, sorry, what? And it's very quick. And this is not how someone behaves when they are upset, genuinely upset. There are no tears. And this strange talking to the jury, which again is almost, it's very misaligned with being an abuse victim. Most abuse victims, when they talk, they tend to look down because they feel a sense of shame, and they will direct themselves to someone that if they're answering, they will look at someone generally that they feel safe, whether it be their attorney or someone. Her sister is sitting in the gallery. She's not looking at her sister. She's always looking towards the jury. So this validation, where I believe she's searching to connect. She's searching to see if she can connect with somebody, and this is where I believe she is going to fall down, because not only is her actions are unbelievable, they are very misaligned with the way she's kind of telling her story, the way that she is reenacting, and the fact that she takes zero responsibility, which is classic narcissism. Nothing is her fault. Nothing. The only thing she's ever said, which I believe, I haven't watched the entire trial, but at the end she says, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. But that still isn't taking any responsibility for anything. Even some of the things that she said to Johnny that are really horrible and really hurtful. You can see she kind of, when the camera pans to her, she rolls her eyes, she smirks. You know, when when Johnny or her sister are talking about the abuse, she smirks. You know, this is, I mean, okay, this is not necessarily, some people smirk through embarrassment, but this is, again, it's not necessarily, this isn't really conducive with someone who has been abused. So, you know, to me, nothing adds up in with her story. You know, every person that has come out to speak in JD's defense, they are lying. In her eyes, every single one of them, which is the bizarrest thing, is all of her witnesses are apparently telling the truth, even though a lot of them have contradicted their own stories and contradicted her stories. But then when she's cross-examined about that, oh, well, perhaps they didn't see it. You know, Rocky, her friend, oh, she didn't see that moment. She saw everything else, but she didn't see that moment. And everything, you know, Whitney, like I said, spoken of Whitney's testimony, completely different, which I'm very bizarre that the media haven't picked up on this, that her story is completely different to Amber's. Even when she's cross-examined again recently, she states that she feared for Whitney's life because Whitney was going to be hit. Whitney herself claims she was hit at the top of the stairs. Johnny ran up the stairs. You know, Amber's version was Johnny lunged for her at the top of the stairs. It's like, this is two different stories. Why is nobody, why? Or is it only that YouTubers seem to be picking up on this? The media have said nothing. Nothing. In fact, all they seem to bang on about is Johnny's drink and drugs. That's it. You know, but interestingly, when Kate Moss takes the stand, all of a sudden I have noticed that the media are starting to change because somebody else famous has got on the stand and spoken out. You know, it just frustrates me. But I think, yes, I think she's done. I think she has really, you know, yeah, I think she's dropped herself right in it because she openly admits to writing the op-ed. So like I say, at the end of the video, I am going to, if I haven't put it in the beginning, I'm going to put it here so you can see for yourself. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, I love you. I appreciate you. Don't forget, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you really like my channel, subscribe, because, you know, it helps the algorithm and it costs you nothing. So yeah. As always, I will speak to you soon. Don't forget, my live with Trev is on Saturday, 7 p.m. So if you have nothing better to do, come across and come and chat with us. So love you, Bubble family, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.
Examination last week, I showed you an audio where you told Mr. Depp to tell the jury, tell the judge, tell the world that he is a victim of domestic abuse. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
And you testified you found it hard to believe that Mr. Depp would tell the world that he's a victim of domestic abuse, didn't you?
I said I find it hard to believe that he would do that, knowing that he himself had beat me up for 5 years.
But he has told the world that he's your victim of domestic abuse, hasn't he?
Well, he started to say that only recently. He didn't make that claim up until very recently. So when we signed our divorce agreement and we signed a statement saying that neither party had ever said false claims for financial gain, it was relevant and important to me because I was the only one making the accusations. I was the only one making those claims. He wasn't doing that at the time, and he signed his name to it.
You didn't expect as many people to show up and testify on his behalf that did you?
Incorrect.
When you told this jury under oath that you never assaulted,
Actually, strike that.
when you told this jury under oath that you punched Mr. Depp because you thought of Mr. Depp pushing Kate Moss down the stairs, you didn't expect Miss Moss to agree to testify that never happened, did you?
Incorrect. I know how many people will come out of the woodwork to be in support of Johnny.
So you think Miss Moss needs to come out of the woodwork to testify for Mr. Depp?
Everybody who was around in the 90s and the early aughts knew that rumor. I had heard that rumor from multiple people. Of course, that's what flashed through my head when my violent husband not only swung for me, but all of a sudden swung for my sister. Of course I thought of that. I did not expect her to show up or not expect her to show up. It didn't matter. It doesn't change what I believed at the time when we were on the stairs and I thought he was going to kill my sister by pushing her down the stairs.
You told this jury under oath that Mr. Depp was aggressive and trashed a trailer in Hicksville. You didn't expect the manager of the Hicksville property, Morgan Knight, to come forward and testify that that wasn't true, did you?
Incorrect. I've already been through trials with this man. I know how many people will come out in support of him.
When you told this jury under oath that you had no idea that the paparazzi would be at the courthouse on May 27, 2016, you didn't expect a TMZ employee to show up to testify that TMZ had been alerted that you would be at the courthouse and knew exactly which side of your face to take a picture of, did you?
I know how many people will come out and say whatever for him. That's his power. That's why I wrote the op-ed. I was speaking to that phenomenon. How many people will come out in support of him and will fall to his power? He is a very powerful man, and people love currying favor with powerful men.
Currying
and I know
favor
that
and
firsthand.
risking jail time for committing perjury?
Excuse me? I didn't hear your question.
You didn't hear my question?
Ms. Vasquez, if you do mind, please just repeat the question. I didn't hear you.
Curry favor and commit perjury in this courtroom?
I have
For
seen
a
people
powerful
do this.
man?
I have seen people do this time and time again. That's why I wrote the op-ed.
You didn't expect Ben King, the house manager in Australia, to show up from England. He flew from England to testify that Mr. Depp's fingertip was found exactly where he said it would be. Did you?
I have never heard Johnny testify to knowing where his finger was, or really, frankly, making a claim that he knew where it was when it was found. I've never heard Johnny claim that.
You didn't expect Keenan Wyatt.
Johnny has never
Ms.
actually
Heard.
said that.
Ms. Heard.
And
I think the jury can.
yes.
Ms. Heard, there's no question pending. You didn't expect Keenan Wyatt, Mr. Depp's longtime sound technician, to show up and testify that Mr. Depp is not being fed lines through his earpieces, but instead music, did you?
Not that it matters much, but of course I did. I know how his employees treat him.
So you
I know how
probably-
his team treats him. Of course I expected that.
Okay, so you probably expected Isaac Baruch to come and testify for Mr. Depp, right?
I'm not sure I thought about that.
Yeah, but you didn't expect Mr. Baruch to weep for Mr. Depp after what you've put him through and so many others with your lies.
I relate to Isaac because he and I are
There's
the
no
only
further
ones who
questions, right?
cried on this stand.
Nothing further.
All right.